My name is Cody, I go by Sadistik. I'm from Seattle and I am on tour called the Hops and Scotch Tour, and I'm about to play the Shred Shed in Salt Lake City. Well, I think it's just like a more evolved version of what I was already trying to do, and I don't think I had to try as hard for some things that are starting to come more natural to me, and I feel like my writing's a lot more fine-tuned, or it's more what I want it to be. I feel like it's just, my toolbox has gotten a little sharper, so I can say what I want easier. Lucky and, not lucky, I would say fortunate and inspiring. Like everybody on my album is an artist I listen to like regularly. They're all people, like I enjoy their music outside of collaborating, so it was exciting to work with all those people. Like Cage, I've looked up to him for a long time. I've always liked his music, and to work with him, like Kim and I have become good friends since making that track, and Blue Sky Black Death, like I'm crazy about the beats. But they kind of made me look good, and I hope I did the same. So.
My body's made of cells, and cells are made to keep you caged. I keep awake to celebrate my sweet escape. I've seen the flames of this hell and made it either way, so why be afraid? It's okay. It's just fire, it's just love, it's just us, it's just trust, it's just this once.
It's very minimal, so I wanted to kind of do a stripped down thing, and I wanted to just kind of like pull my ribs apart real quick and try to like still do the poetic, like, wordy thing, but I wanted it to be pretty concise and, like, obvious about what I was saying. And, like, that whole song's basically just about, like, feeling unimportant in the universe, which I'm pretty sure everybody feels at some point.
I wine and dine with letters is a pleasure opiate to bring my mind back to the center for the medics open that. So here's another piece of me forgotten and ignored, another piece I sharpen with the sword. The apple of my eye, she was rotten to the core, so I left her in the trash where she belongs, and I've long since ignored. I know there's aphids in my chest to get the butterflies I'm feeling when I try to make the best of it.
Yeah, it's definitely conscious. Like I honestly am just bored in a lot of ways, like as a person and as an artist, and like this isn't something I do like on the side. It's all I think about, and I like obsess about it, and that's why it's so like crafted. Like whether that's good or bad, it could be like overworked. I don't know, like a fair line, but that's like why my style's like that. So I get bored and I like experimenting, and I like hearing new guys that are really dope do stuff like Kendrick or like Danny Brown or like whatever, people who do like just little innovative things. I like to study that and like do my own twist on stuff. Like I feel like there's just so many ways to use your voice and layer things, and that I haven't even found yet. And, like, most people don't use any of them. I do the same thing with like rhyme schemes and like patterns and stuff. Sometimes I'll see things like a puzzle and try to like think of some scheme, even if it's like a small twist, but like some scheme that's different than anything I've heard. Like that's when I get excited. It's not often, but it's something like that.
I'm a victim of an overactive limbic system. Follow me and you will know.
I want to really bad. Like that's definitely a goal of mine. Outside of music, I want to release this poetry book, and I want to start directing like short films or something like that. I'm starting to like get a grasp on some things, but like on the technical side, I still need to learn a lot of stuff. But I have a lot of ideas, and I need to start writing down some stuff. But I want to make some weird like short, cult, like bizarre grindhouse shit. It'd be really cool.
Yeah,
like Russian Roulette. Like I wrote that. Like I love 70s grindhouse movies, and like so like getting shot point blank is super 70s grindhouse, and then like the dead girl with the yellow dress, that's like with the bright red blood. To me, that's I want to do that for like a giallo, like Italian horror, like Dario Argento and Mario Bava and shit, because they always have like beautiful women and like bright things being killed, and then stuff like that. That slow zoom in at the beginning, I wanted that to be like Kubricky, You know, especially in The Shining, he always did the Steadicam shot. Yeah, like nobody's ever gonna notice that, and I'm not comparing myself to any of those people in any way. I'm not like being like this was Kubrickian. No, but like when I was writing those things or thinking of it or whatever, in my head it was like a high five to those people. Hands down, Alex Large, it's Malcolm McDowell. In Clockwork Orange, that's my favorite villain. The pretentious person, I mean, I hate saying this, but I love the Joker from Dark Knight, but that was very Clockwork Orange inspired. From the movie Maniac in 1980, his name's Joe Zito. His character, he's just like this evil fat dude who just kills a bunch of women, but he's pretty cool. And Walter from Big Lebowski. He's not a bad guy, but I just love that character so much, and I just gotta give him a shout out.
He's such a douchebag.
I love him, like he's so earnest.
Oh, that last scene though, when he's dumping out the ashes. It's so funny.
Sorry, dude. I mean, Pride.
Pride.
Yeah. I've been thinking about that a lot, though. I think being an artist is a pretty inherently narcissistic thing, and I don't think people admit it. Like, I see all these interviews and people are like, you know, I make my music to help people, and if I could just inspire one MC and blah blah blah, like those things are super important. I'm not like discrediting that, and like that's hearing from people like that for me is like one of the more rewarding experiences of music. But like people need to stop lying. Like I never sit down and I'm like, I'm gonna make a song that's gonna help somebody. You know, I'd rather be outside doing something, but I just really feel like I'm gonna help inspire some rapper somewhere. Like, no, I never think that. So it's a pretty selfish, narcissistic thing. I find myself, the better I am at being sadistic, like the worse I am at being Cody, if that makes sense. Like, the more of myself I put into this music, then like the more like my real relationships suffer and things like that. So, in some ways, but whatever, it's a learning curve. Frontal lobe, consciousness. Consciousness is everything that separates us, like self-thought, self-talk. I mean, shit, if you think about it, the brain originally, if you cut open a brain, there's like a reptile brain, like literally, and then there were more layers that came like over time. And, like the inner brain where we first started was way more mechanical, like, if you think about it. Like, when humans become animalistic, like in a war situation, or like when they're so like enraged and things like that, they're in a survival mode and they become more like mechanical because they can't afford to put their energy into their consciousness. So that's why people who are like enlightened or intelligent just feel like this consciousness that like separates them. There's that whole like Maslow's hierarchy of needs thing, like at the bottom you need like the basics. You need food, you need water, things like that. Once you have that, you need shelter. Once you have that, and it reaches up to like, basically you'll need like social acceptance, you'll need love, you'll need fulfillment, a career, whatever it is, but you can't worry about those later things unless your basic shit is there. Some starving child in Uganda right now isn't worried about his consciousness or his role in the world, he's worried about getting something in his fucking stomach. There's this book called The Evolution of Consciousness and the Breakdown of the Bicameral Mind by Julian Jaynes. It's super dope. It's kind of dense, obviously, but like, he basically is saying like at one point humans became conscious. Like, it just, at some point in history, like we weren't conscious, like sentient beings, and now we are. And so he's basically like studying human history and like putting all these things around the idea of like how that moment inspired him. They definitely become more conscious as they grow older. Because they go from a machine who shits and cries when they need to eat and basically runs off of reflex.
Right.
Hopefully an upstanding, wonderful citizen of the United States of America.
Like a spider's legs to still hide a face. So if home is where the heart is, you can find me sleeping in between her bones or in her cartilage. And I could break your heart in two and use the jagged edges left to go and take apart the gloom from my palm reader.